Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss a very interesting chapter of English language, that is use of articles. Now children, let's discuss the objectives of this session. By the end of this session, children, you will be able to understand the meaning and different types of articles. Children, you will also be able to understand where to use the articles, where to use a, an and the. Now children, let's discuss what actually is article. An article is a word that comes before a noun. Noun, a naming word. So children, an article always comes before a noun. We have three articles, the, a and an. See here in this example, the boy, a bee, an apple. Now children, let's see the different types of articles. We have two types of articles. First of all, see indefinite article. When we talk about general things, when we talk generally. So in this, under this, we use articles a or an. And the second type is definite articles. Definite means specific things. When we talk about particular thing, when we particularize a thing, then we use article the. Now see children, the confusion is where to use definite article and where to use indefinite articles. Now see children, here in this example, we have three apples. Now when I talk about a single apple, any apple, then I will be calling it an apple. And when I have to particularize that apple, when I have to say a particular apple, then I will say the apple. When I'll call any apple, I'll be calling it an apple. When I'll particularize an apple, then I will be saying the apple. Now children, see indefinite article. Under indefinite article, we have a and an. What does indefinite article means? When we do not speak of any particular or definite person or thing. Now children, indefinite means when we do not talk about any particular or any definite person or thing. When we talk about any person or anything. See here in the example, I saw a boy in the bazaar. So here what I'm saying I have seen a boy, any boy in the bazaar. I found an ink pot which I found lying in the room. So this means I have found an ink pot, means any ink pot. The color or anything is not mentioned here, any ink pot. So I'll be using an ink pot. So see here the difference now, the definite article. The definite article means the. We will be using the. So when we speak of some particular or definite person or a thing, when we particularize a thing, when we particularize a person, then we will be using the article the. See the same example here. This is the boy whom I saw in the bazaar. So here I am particularizing the boy. I am saying this is the same boy which I have seen in the bazaar. So I will be using the, not a here. This is the ink pot which I found lying in the room. So I have particularized that ink pot. I am saying this is the same ink pot which I have seen in the bedroom, in the room. So I will be using the instead of an. Now see children, now we will be seeing where to use article a. Now a is used before the words beginning with the sound of a consonant. Children, see we have 26 alphabets. And out of these 26, we have vowels. A, E, I, O, U. We have 5 vowels. So we are left with 21 alphabets. So these 21 alphabets are consonant. So a is used, the article a is used before the words which begin with the consonant, with the sound of consonant. And one more, such vowels, when we talk about vowels that have a sound of U before U as pronounced U. So see here children, when vowel U is mentioned there, but it is giving the sound of U, then we will be using article a. This will be clear with an example, with these examples. See here, a, U. So E here, though it is a vowel, but it is giving sound of U. So we will be using article a. A useful thing. U, though it is a vowel, but it is giving the sound of U. So I will be using article a. A. Unit, again same, U, but giving the sound of U. So this is A. University, a university. Though this is a vowel, but this is giving the sound of U. So I will be using article A here. A balloon. So this is simple. B is consonant, so I will be using A here. A balloon. A desk. D is consonant, so I will be using article A here. Now children, with O, when it is sounded as W. O is a vowel, but when it gives the sound of W, then we will be using article A. See here, examples. A 1 rupee note. Though this is a vowel, O is a vowel, but the sound of O here is of W. So I will be using article A 1 rupee note. A one-eyed man. A one-way traffic. A one-eyed man, same. So now let's see next, a one-way road. Now children, where to use article an. An is used before words beginning with vowel sounds or with a silent H. Now children, we will be using article an before the words which begins with the vowel sounds. Vowels are A, E, I, O, U. And if the word begins with H, but the H is silent. So again, we will be using article an. See here an example. An apple. A is a vowel, so an apple. An hour. H is not a vowel, but the sound of H is silent. So we will be using an here before H. So an hour. An hour class. An honest man. Again H is silent. An air. So children, now next is before an abbreviations, the first letter of which begins with a consonant having vowel sound. So children, we will be using this an before the abbreviations if the sound begins with the vowel sound. See the example. An MA. Children, though this M is not a vowel, but actually this is giving us the sound of vowel, that is A, MA. So M gives sound of A. So we will be using an here. An MA. An MLA. So M again gives sound of vowel A. So we will be using an before it. An MLA. An FRCS. F also begins with the sound of vowel A. F. So we will be using an. An Xmas-tree. So X again begins with the sound of A only. So we will be using article an. An SP. So SP, S also gives the sound of vowel. So AS. So we will be using article an before it. See now next is various functions of a or an. Now children, in the sense of numerical one, when we talk about one, we always use article a or an. See here, give me a mango. A denotes here 1. So this means give me 1 mango. We can use give me a mango. In a day or 2. So children, a here again denotes 1. So we can use article a or an here. In a day or 2. She bought an umbrella. So an umbrella here tells 1 umbrella. She bought 1 umbrella. We can say she bought an umbrella. The article will be an. Now children, in the sense of every. She visits me 2 times a month. So 2 times a month, a denotes here every month. She visits me 2 times every month. So I'll be using article a here. I pay him 1000 rupees a month. So I pay him 1000 rupees. This means every month. A denotes here every. He comes here twice a week. Twice a week. A article denotes every week. So a here means every week. A week. Now next is in the sense of certain. See example. I met a beggar who pretended to be lame. It means I met a certain beggar. So a certain instead of certain we can use article a here. I met a beggar. Similarly, a William means a certain man named William, a person whose name is William, but you don't know who is he. So a William is wanted by the police. So a person whose name is William is wanted by police. So we will be using article a here. Next is before a singular countable noun in a general sense to represent a class of things. See here, a cow is a very useful animal. So a cow here represents the whole class of cow. So that's why we have used article a that would represent the whole class of cow here. Similarly, an elephant never forgets. So we are talking about the whole class of elephant. So we have used article an before it. An elephant never forgets. Now one note is there. It must be borne in mind that man or woman, when used for mankind or womankind as a whole, doesn't take an article. So children, keep this thing in mind when we are talking about man or woman, that would denote the mankind as a whole or womankind as a whole. We will not be using any article before man or woman. For example, man is mortal. So man is depicting this, representing the full mankind. So we will not be using any article before it. Similarly, woman is the ornament of the house. So we will not be using any article before noun woman. Now children, next is in the sense of some, single or any. So children, article a or an can be used to denote the word some, single or any. So she did not say a word against you. So children, instead of writing single, that single word is replaced by the article a. She did not say a word against you instead of writing single word. A soldier should obey his commander. So means any soldier should obey his commander. So instead of this, we are writing article a before soldier. There is not a student in the class who will not support you. So we are talking about not a single, not any student in the class. So instead of writing any, we will be using article a here that would denote the word any. Next is in the sense of the same. Now see the example. Two of a trade seldom agree. So children, a article here tells two of a same trade. Now instead of writing same here, we will be using article a. They are much of an age. And also here represent same age. Birds of a feather flock together. Birds of a feather, a here denotes same feather. Now children, next is before a proper noun to make it a common noun. When we make a proper noun to a common noun, then we will be using article a before it. See the example. He is a Newton. So Newton is the name of a great scientist. So I'll be calling this person a Newton. So means this person is also a great scientist like Newton. So we will be using article a before the proper noun because we have made it a common noun. He is a Keats. He is a Keats means Keats is the name of a great romantic poet. So this means this person also is a poet like Keats. So that's why we have used article a before the proper noun as we have made Keats a common noun now. Now children, next is in a certain expression of quantity. We will be using article a before such phrases that depicts the quantity like a good deal of, a good many, a couple, you say a couple of days, a great deal of, a great many, etc. Now children, next is in certain phrases. Now in certain phrases, on an average, we will be using article an, at a loss, make a mess, make an effort, as a rule, a sore throat, make a mistake, make a noise, a severe pain, a bad cold. Or in all these phrases, we will be using article a or an. Now next is before the word most when it is used in the sense of very or very much. Children, see here in example, Shalini is a most intelligent girl. So here when the word, we have to mention the word very. She is very intelligent girl. So instead of writing very intelligent, when the most is written, most intelligent, so we will be using article a before most. If we are writing the most intelligent, so that would mean that she is the only girl who is the most intelligent girl. So if I'm using article A before most, so this means that there are other girls also who are as intelligent as she is. So that's why I have used article A before most. That was a most tragic accident. So a most, that depicts that this was a very tragic accident. This is a most unfortunate event, means very unfortunate event. Now with certain numbers we use article A or an. 100, 1,000, 1,000,000, etc. With 1, 2, 1/3, 1/4, etc. A is usual, but 1 is also possible. A half, a third, a quarter, etc. So children, we will be using a with all these: a half, a third, a fourth, etc., a quarter. We will be also using 1.5 or a kilo, a half, but 1/1/2 kilo would also be used, a half day, a half share. With a noun complement. Noun complement means that completes a noun. So he is an engineer. So an, article an, completes the noun engineer. So we have to use article an. It was an earthquake, earthquake. So an will be used. Vowels are there, so we will be using an. He was a rock. So rock, R is consonant, so we will be using article A before it. In expression of price, speed, ratio, etc. In such cases also we will be using article 60 kilometers an hour. Rupees 12 a dozen. Here a or an equals to per. So children, here rupees 12 a dozen means rupees 12 per dozen. So instead of writing per, we will be writing article A before it. In exclamations also, what a long queue. What a pretty girl. What a fine day. So in all these cases, we will be using articles in exclamations. Now next is before certain uncountable nouns preceded by nouns plus of. See here children. Now uncountable noun advice and before it of is used. So we will be using a piece of advice, a bit of news, a drop of water. So in all these cases, we will be using article. Now children, see, a or an is used with positives or comparatives. See here in this sentence, this is a good book, but that is a better one. So better, comparative degree, so we are using article A. Good is also positive degree, so we will be using article A. Now next is after words like many, rather, such, quite, etc. So after all these words, we always use article A or an. Many, a man, was present there to receive me. So many is the word, and after this we will be using article A or an. It is rather a pity that you could not get any position in the class. So children, again, rather is the word, and after rather we always use article A or an. Now next is after an adjective preceded by so, as, to, how, quite, etc. Now children, whenever adjective is there in the sentence and before it these words are mentioned, so after that adjective we will be using article an or a. This is too heavy. See, adjective is heavy and before it two word is mentioned, so we will be using article after adjective. So a bag. This is too heavy a bag for me to carry. He is not so big a fool as you think. So big is the adjective, before it the word so is mentioned, so we will be using article after adjective. Now children, next is before Miss, Mr or Mrs plus surname. Before these we will be using article. See here, a Mr. Chatterjee. Why I have used article before Mr. Chatterjee means I am talking about not a particular Chatterjee, not a particular person whose surname, whose name is Mr. Chatterjee. I am talking about any person, some person who is Mr. Chatterjee. So a Mr. Chatterjee, whom I do not know, who is stranger to me. A Mr. Chatterjee denotes a person who is called Chatterjee. It means he is a stranger to the speaker. Mr. Chatterjee. When I will say Mr. Chatterjee and I am not using any article before Mr., so this implies that the speaker knows Mr. Chatterjee or knows of his existence. Before a singular countable noun which is mentioned for the first time. So children, when a singular countable noun is mentioned for the first time, for the very first time, then the article will be used. That is, about which nothing is known or has been said earlier. Means about whom or about which nothing is told earlier. See here an example. Once there lived a king in Patliputra. So here, a king, we have not talked about this king earlier, so a will come. This is the very first time this king is introduced, so a will be used. There is a tea stall near our school. So this is the very first time the person is telling about the tea stall, so article a will be used. There was once a great saint in the foothills of Himalaya. This saint is introduced first time by the speaker, so a will be used. With some abstract nouns. Children, abstract noun means the nouns which cannot be seen, which cannot be touched. So, with some abstract nouns in a particular sense, but in the singular only. A or an is always used with singular things. So, she has a love for dancing. Love is an abstract noun. So, a will be used. It was a relief to lie down under a shady tree. So, it is depicting a singular thing. It was a relief, and this is an abstract noun, so we will be using a before it. Now children, next is omission of article a or an. Before uncountable nouns, we do not use any article. See here, sand is uncountable noun, so sand is used in making glass. The bag is made of paper. Paper is also uncountable, so we will not be using any article before uncountable nouns. Next is before the names of meals. Means before breakfast, before dinner, before lunch, we do not use any article. We had breakfast rather late today. So we had breakfast rather late today. We will not be using any article before breakfast. They had dinner at 11 p.m. So dinner is also name of meal. So we will not be using any article before dinner. One exception is there. Now children, see, a or an can be used before the name of a meal preceded by an adjective. Now children, before the name of a meal, if some adjective is mentioned, so we will be using article before that adjective. See here, she gave us a nice breakfast. So before breakfast, article a will be used if adjective is placed before breakfast. See here, nice is the adjective which is placed before breakfast. So we will be using article before adjective nice. A nice breakfast. Similarly, the article is used before the name of a special meal given to celebrate something or in someone's honor. So when it is special meal, then we will be using article. See here, I was invited to dinner at his house. So there is nothing special in it. So we will be using no article. No article will be used before dinner. So when it is written, I was invited to a dinner given to welcome the new principal. So here the occasion is mentioned why this dinner was organized, to welcome the new principal. So we will be using article before dinner then. Before a noun preceded by a kind of. Now children, before a noun, if the phrase is mentioned kind of, so we will not be using any article before it or after it. What kind of a woman is she? So we will not be using any article after it. What kind of flower is it? We will not be using any article before flower. Now next is before a singular countable noun when it is used as a nominative of address. When we are addressing a person, so we will not be calling or using any article there. See here, come here, girl, not a girl. Wait a bit, boy, not a boy. When we are addressing somebody. Next is before a singular countable noun when it denotes time and is preceded by last. Now children, when a countable noun denotes time and before it the word last is mentioned, so we will not be using any article. See here, I was on leave last week. So week is countable noun, but before it last word is mentioned, so we will not be using any article rather. Last month we went on a tour of South India. So month, countable noun, but before last word is mentioned, so we will not be using any article. Before a singular countable noun, when it is preceded by each, that, this, some, another, either or neither. So children, before all these words, and if countable noun is there and before it all these words are mentioned, we will not be using any article. There are 60 children in that class. So that is the word, and we will not be using any article here. Before singular countable noun, when it is preceded by a possessive pronoun. See here, I have lost my watch. My is the possessive pronoun, and before it the word lost is used. So before any possessive pronoun the word lost is mentioned, then we will not be using any article there. Before plural nouns, obviously children, I am telling you again and again, a or an, these both articles are used with singular nouns. The plural of a cat is cats, so we will not be saying air cats. That of an egg is eggs, we will not say an eggs. So an egg singular, eggs plural. In certain phrases consisting of preposition followed by a noun. Now children, see, she has no work in hand. So work is the noun and afterward preposition is used. So whenever a preposition is used, we will not be using any article there. We will go by land and by air. So by land, by air, by is the prepositions. So we will not be using any article here in the sentence also. Next is repetition of article a or an. See here, now compare these two sentences. When we compare sentence using the word than, and if one article is used there, so it means we are talking about the one person only. Fine, see here in the example, he is a better surgeon than a physician, than physician. So this means this person is both a surgeon also, he is a physician also, as we have used only one article. So this sentence means he is better surgeon, he is a better surgeon than physician. He is both a surgeon and physician, but his work as a surgeon is better than his work as a physician. Similarly, children, when we are using two articles in the same sentence, he is a better surgeon than a physician. This means we are comparing two persons. We are saying a physician cannot be such a good surgeon as he is. I'm talking about some other physician, and he is a surgeon. See one more example. I have a black and white horse. So here the word and is used to join these two sentences and only one article is used. So this means I have one horse. Fine, I have one horse which is partly black and partly white. Similarly, in the same sentence, if I'm using two articles, I'm saying if I have a black and a white horse. I have used two articles. So this means I have two horses. One is black and the other one is white. So I hope this is clear. When we are using one article, so we will be calling it one person. We are talking about only one person. And when we are using two articles, so it means we are talking about two persons or two things. The article a or an is used before each nouns or adjective to express different characteristics of the same person. Now when I'm talking about one person and I have to tell about his characters or about his qualities, so I will be using article a or an before each and every adjective. See here, Napoleon was a great general, a statesman, an orator, and a mathematician. So this means I'm talking about one person who has all these qualities. Now children, this is your homework time. What you have to do, you have to do the exercises given in SNAP homework and revise all the rules which we have discussed. So children, thank you.